Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana. Close your legs and open your book. Let's get to reading.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit content.
It's about to get nasty.
It's all vibes and no facts.
Let's get to spoiling.
Wait, no, these are spoiler-free episodes.
Not the way I do it. Where do these men in these books get clothes?
Oh, yeah.
They're all insanely tall. They're way more yoked than I am. And they've got teeny tiny little waists and huge, massive shoulders.
They're all super wealthy, so they have custom handmade items.
I just want a book about a pauper who's yoked.
What's a pauper?
A poor person.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the Princess and the Pauper.
Oh, okay.
It's like a poor peasant.
This book kind of has it. He's just a knight.
I think that's actually quite a regal position.
She is of higher status than him.
She's a higher status than the king.
Oh, wow. Really? Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
I wanted to start it off by saying I think this book has crack in it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it so much.
Really?
Yes, immediately hooked. By chapter 2, I'm intrigued. I want to know what's going on with the dreams and this night man. Oh my God, it was so good.
Okay, so I thought it was going to be the Night Lady.
Yeah.
And it still might be.
Yeah.
We don't know for certain.
I don't think Night Lady, but...
Maud? It could be Maud.
Oh, you know the names even.
I know her name. Everybody else I'm going to call Bartholomew. And Benji.
I'm in love with this book, though. I'm only 6 chapters in, but I know I'm loving it. Just the pacing, the way it moves. It's dreamy, ironically. Just the way... I don't know, it's just flowy.
Ethereal? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, and then you have the audiobook voice actor, incredible. All of it tied together, it is magical, and I love it.
I'm enjoying this book.
I thought you were struggling.
I am. I'm struggling. It's good. I don't dislike it at all. The pacing is so much better than Gods and Monsters 3.
Dawn of the Cursed Queen.
There we go. So much better than that. I have a hard time staying concentrated because there's so much about this one character and the way that she's viewing the world. I think it's amazing. It's just hard for me because I'm like, oh, you're such a stuck-up asshole.
And I think that's kind of where she's going to be the veil revealed from her eyes or whatever the term.
And she's going to have the most gorgeous eyes.
Well, not...
That'll be glowing red.
Probably literally, but I think she's been drinking the Kool-Aid, drinking the pond water.
It's described as thick, viscous, and cold. It sounds disgusting.
Someone related it to...
Pre-cum.
Oh, God, no, stop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
In our book club, someone said that's what it made them think of.
The amniotic fluid
Yep.
that they're kind of stuck in.
That's what the pond is like. Well, the spring water.
I don't like that.
It's stinky, it's gross, it's viscous.
Man, it's kind of exactly what you think, though.
Yep.
Well, good job, whoever you are.
And then you try growing some swampy flowers in it. Gross.
Disgusting. Take me from the beginning. What's our story about?
This story is about...
The book is called The Night in the Mouth.
The Night in the Moth. It's kind of a girl that's in a cult. And she's also like a witch. She's not a witch, but our ideas of like a witch where they are... running through the streets kind of half nude, gets the eyes and attention of everyone around them. It makes me think of that one meme where she's like, witch!
I love that your version of a witch is a sexy Halloween witch.
She's actually just a feminist back in the day. It's all this woman is.
When I think of witches, I think of Hocus Pocus.
Oh, no.
And it's very Victorian and flowy.
I think of witches as the kind that were hung because they were reading.
Nice.
They couldn't.
That witch has got a huge dong.
No, like burn them at the stake kind of thing because they were learning how to read. They
did math.
They did math. They were showing off their titties type of thing.
Okay, so I like that a part of this is so factually based where you're like, just like the witch hunts, where educated women were considered witches. And also they were showing their titties. Witches. I don't think the second thing ever actually happened.
I think that there must have been some show that I watched because she's talking about being in this gossamer gown and there's very little left to the imagination.
She says nothing. She said, you can see it all.
You can see everything.
She's like, you can see everything but my eyes. My eyes are for the Lord. But these nippies,
Well, even later, I think in like chapter 6, they get even more nude somehow as they're drunk and dancing. They strip off some layers, and that's when I think that they're like full blown nude.
No, they're in white gowns again because they went in cloaks to pretend that they weren't the diviners.
There is a cult where women would be dancing and...
Which cult? So many.
I
want to avoid it. Tell me which cult it is with the naked women dancing.
And they're dancing around a fire, and it's...
Thinking of the Wicker Man?
Maybe, I don't know. But I'm imagining these women, and it's supposed to be like this negative thing. I'm thinking this is when I was very young, and I was still...
heavily indoctrinated.
Yeah, and
you're watching naked women dancing, and you're like, oh, for shame. Better study this one to make sure Jesus can find him in case he needs help. I'll know how to track him down.
It makes me think of early 2000s cult. Just the word cult is what it made me all think of. Even this book. What did you say, Wicker Man?
Yeah, it's probably not the Wicker Man. I don't think you can see this when you were a kid. But if I remember right, in Wicker Man, there are naked ladies dancing around a man that's on fire. I may be conflating things.
So I tried Googling cult witches dancing nude. And the top Reddit post on this, I put this in Google and it's showing me Reddit, is from Witches versus Patriarchy. And it says, like, honestly, no one has ever invited me to a naked bonfire in the woods. I've always wanted to go to a naked bonfire and just enjoy nature and other women and not be ogled or sexualized. That's one way to get invited.
Or this is a really hard way to find out that you're too ugly to be invited to a naked bonfire. They're like, no, we're going to have a bonfire, but there's lots of clothes.
Okay, so I'm not finding exactly what I'm looking for, but this is a thing that witches would dance naked around a bonfire.
Okay. I think this is a thing.
It's that vibe is what this book gives me. That is this whole entire thing that I was trying to say, is this book gives me that type of vibe of where this girl is in this cult and she's a bit of a witch and very openly sexual-ish, because she's also not openly sexual, but I mean, I don't know if this world views modesty in the same way as our world. I'm assuming it does because everyone is ogling them everywhere they go with how they're dressed.
Yes, and the only other reason I think that is the way that she ogles the knight. He's not wearing anything but pants at one point.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She's just drinking him in.
Oh, my God, yes.
Oh, okay. So you had a different reaction to that than I did.
What? I had this whole imagery of even just like the trousers. It reminded me of like the lace-up kind. So it's like even a V right there. It straightened me out, that scene, I would say. I'm like, oh, I think I need to get Ryan a pair of these trousers.
Don't even know. I cannot imagine the I pictured he's wearing like burlap trousers.
What? No.
Yeah, honestly. I was like, he's got his hammer pants on.
No.
And they lace up in the front because they hadn't invented zippers and buttons yet. She throws up on his boot. We're going to have to get into this book eventually, but wow.
Okay, I searched up lace-up night trousers, and one of the top searches is padded pants with belt from medieval whatever, and the crotch is just completely exposed. So he was definitely not wearing those ones.
I feel like those are more chaps, crotchless chaps.
I'm not finding the lace-ups, but his laces were not laced. And if they were, they weren't when I was reading.
I'm so excited to talk about this, though. Take me into the beginning.
Chapter 1. It starts with a gargoyle and a fly, and then a statue with a coin, inkwell, an oar, a chime, and a loomstone. So she's walking through.
5 statues. There are 6 total.
Yes.
But only 5 that are holding things, and there are different areas of this place that represent each statue.
And she's in this cathedral. I don't know what the whole point of the gargoyle and the fly is other than to show how sweet he is, or did he kill the fly? Doesn't even matter.
I thought the gargoyle was so still, the fly was just on him.
Oh, maybe. I thought he was removing it from being trapped by a spider.
Oh, you could be correct. That may be.
Yeah, and he was like scolding it, chewing it out for getting caught.
He's like, damn it, Bartholomew, not again.
There are 5 maidens. She's the 6th one. They're in gossamer cloth, clothes and dress, and they also have one over their eyes.
That is not gossamer.
Yeah, it's like see-through enough for her, but it's still not enough for anyone to see her eyes.
Yeah, it's a shroud she's wearing.
Exactly. They all go by different numbers. It took me a little while to figure out even just her number. She is number 6. And they leave the cathedral. That's when they walk by these statues holding those different items. They get up onto a wall. They're quite a ways above those who are on horses, carriages, and walking by. And there's a bunch of knights. And then we see the boy king. And she repeatedly uses his chubby cheeks. He's very young and youthful. Not a 5 o'clock shadow in sight.
No. Benjamin is a young fellow.
Benji is another name he went by. At one point, she grabs an apple and she's eating it. And I thought this was going to be important. I'm like, all right, this is going to be symbolic. And maybe it is. Don't know, don't care.
She's Eve. She's ruined it for everyone.
Maybe a witch. So she's eating her apple. Her friend's just like, why are you eating that? Or why didn't you get me one? She's like, oh, do you want one? And she grabs it and she just like chucks it. And that's when I knew this book was going to be a little bit funny because I'm like, what an asshole.
Yeah, agreed.
Just threw it.
Well, she's getting near the end of her tenure, we might add. She's a little
important.
long in the tooth.
Exactly. Did all of these girls start at the same time as her?
We don't know that. I don't believe so. I think 5 is the youngest, or 3. 1 and 4 are similar to her, except they're hypersexual.
Oh, my. How old are all of them? I'm imagining they're all over 20.
I think they're around 20 because they can
20.
only be diviners for 10 years. And I believe she was near 10 years old when she was abducted and turned into a diviner.
Yeah, she was a child, not a teen, and I was hoping 10.
She was like, in near as I can tell, they are like poor slave children that are tested to become this.
That's what I thought. I went and re-listened. I think that's in the next chapter, and I double-checked myself, and someone commented their thoughts in the book club, and that really helped me with figuring out what was going on and how she was picked.
At some point, I should really read what's happening in this book club.
You should join.
I should join the book club. I'm not allowed to comment on things, so I got rid of the book club.
You want to be mean sometimes.
Here's a little secret. I love you to pieces. I don't love anybody else. So when they're kind of mean or rude, I think I should be allowed to be mean back.
No, you don't need to be. Don't worry, guys. Nobody's bullying me. He's just very sensitive.
I'm a sensitive boy.
So whichever number her friend is, she's just a dick. And she's like, this apple's gross. Rather than giving it back, she just like throws it. But it does have a purpose because now we have a horse with a knight on it that really wants this apple. What happens? The horse doesn't leave, and the knight looks up, and he's looking at the ladies, and he's eyeing who? Number 6. Because he can tell them all apart, so he knows which one's the most beautiful to him. And this is a big deal.
It's brought in later.
It's a big deal. He can tell these girls apart. I know those titties.
Later on, he addresses them, and when he wants it to be number 6, he's like, the beautiful one.
No, that doesn't happen. That is the king saying the beautiful one to choose. His eyes flicker to number 6.
That's what I mean, is he identifies her as the beautiful.
But it was actually like number 4 or 5 that was chosen. Can you
imagine you're the other girls there? Somebody says, oh, the pretty one out of 6 girls. Who the fuck? What kind of an asshole would say that?
A king. He did. But to her, she was completely unfazed because she saw his eyes flicker to her, and that was the only one that mattered. But in the moment, she's just like, this fucking guy, don't look at me.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into it later, but it gets weird.
In this moment, though, is when he first sees her, and he's looking up. It really wasn't like that, though. He thinks so little of them.
And I'm on his side with this. He's like, you guys are so full of shit. Why do you think you're so important? This is all dumb.
Yeah, he finds all of this stupid.
Uh-huh.
And it really added to the level of cult that they're in, and that they seem to have everybody convinced that all of this is real. He's like, this is bullshit.
So far, this is my favorite male character we've had in any of these books. If he ends up being our MMC, I'm a fan at this point.
You're not convinced he's the main male character right now? It's literally the knight and the moth. There's a knight right here.
There are like 12 knights in this. It could be any one of them, and I kind of still hope it's Maud.
I don't think it's going to be her, but she will play, I'm sure, a crucial role in this.
I think Maud's got cold cheeks, and the only way to warm them up is 6's thighs.
Maybe she gets with one of the others.
Maybe she gets with 6. Maybe 6 just has a platonic relationship with, I can't remember, Roderick? I believe Rory. There we go.
This is our knight. We don't know his name yet. His name is Rory.
Yeah, maybe she gets with him, but just in a platonic way because she and Maud have such great sexual chemistry.
Are these remnants from Legends and Lattes that you still want that vibe?
Yeah.
Just a slow romance lesbian take?
It doesn't even need to be lesbian.
You just don't want romance?
Well, I do. I want romance. I just don't want lust. I
He's
get that
not
lust has to
lusting,
happen.
though.
No, she is. She is thirsty. And she's like, nah, but not really. But kind of. But not really. But kind of. Like, she's going back and forth with him. We'll get into it. All I'm saying is, it would be super rad if this was a lesbian love story. We haven't had a main story where it takes place where it's two women that fall deeply in love.
Those books are out there. I think when it comes to popularity, unfortunately, they don't become very popular.
I would like our listeners to find these books. Encourage your significant others, brothers, fathers, husbands, boyfriends. Read those books. We can get the popularity of them up. Maybe this is what it'll take to drag more men into this. Because these are good books. But, you know, the male main character thing gets tired real fast. You heard about one enormous penis, you've seen them all. You know? I'm ready to hear about these beautiful clitori hanging out there.
Well, I'm going to get you back on topic. We're going to talk about a sexy, angry knight.
Sorry. I was talking about a sexy, angry knight. Maud.
She is a sexy, angry one.
Yeah.
You're right. I think we can enjoy both of them.
If the book allows it, I will.
Well, this knight has dark brown eyes, and she calls him out on speaking disrespectfully to a daughter of Ashling, I think.
Ashburn.
Because I don't remember what he said. Do you remember what he said to her?
No. I think he said something like, oh, you dropped this apple, you fucking dummy. He throws it back to her.
It did not
She
happen.
misses the catch, and he's like, oh, you didn't have a father.
Oh
He
my
rides away.
God, no.
That would have been so funny to me.
He's so fucked up. Because she kind of gets manipulated into this cult thing because she doesn't have parents, I think.
I would agree. Well, she does. She has a mother.
Now?
And the house mother, what's her name? She's called the...
I don't know who
And
she is, but she makes me think of the super sexy woman in the Witcher series, where she's the house mother of all the witches that she's training.
Oh, that changed everything for me just now.
She's that woman. So she's an absolute bitch, mean, and she uses her love against these girls. She hasn't yet, but that is who I'm picturing as their witch mother. And I know they're not witches, but I keep just imagining them as
Witches.
Just sexy witches.
That changes this book a lot for me.
That's
A lot. Yes,
type
that
of
lady-
personality that I'm imagining as being mother.
Hey, if you're remotely interested in what we're saying, watch the first season of The Witcher. That old lady.
She's not old.
In the show, doesn't she stay looking young because of her magic? I thought she was several hundred years old.
Okay. Yeah, she yeah. All right. I thought you meant like the actress was
I don't
old.
know how old the actress is. If she's several hundred, she's keeping it tight. There's something about that lady's attitude. Wow.
I don't think you and I have ever agreed on how attractive a woman was until her.
Yeah, I agree.
We were
so
both
mean.
just like stunned of like, oh my.
Oh, we need to take a minute. Walk away. It distracted you from Henry Cavill for a minute.
Absolutely.
And you really thought the other one was Super Smoke Show. The one that plays Henry Cavill's love interest. What's her name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that lady, fine. Whatever. No. The old witch lady. Wow. I like him ornery and decisive.
And that's the only type of woman I could really picture of running this cult, taking money from the highest bidder, taking in these little girls, drowning them, is that level of psycho as we saw in The Witcher.
See, you know, I was picturing McGonagall from Harry Potter. Which,
Oh.
hear me out, still.
I think still pretty fitting.
Well, still also an attractive lady in her own way.
Yeah,
Like,
because she's angry and bitchy and you like that.
I guess. Yeah, I got a type.
Your sexy night woman isn't angry and bitchy like that.
No, she's different. Actually, our main female character is sort of the bitchy one.
Not in a fun way yet. I'm assuming she's going to be deconstructing from this cult because she's getting rebellious. This is really out of character where we're jumping in on the story, where she is open to leaving the area. But back into chapter 1, the night goes on, right? They move on. They hop down. I think Barth hit the gargoyle.
Bartholomew.
I don't know his name. He's just the gargoyle. He shows up. He's like, Bartholomew, you need to get back here, blah, blah, blah. And they drew straws to see who's going to be dreaming because it's a miserable experience.
Did you know all of the gargoyles call everybody Bartholomew?
Yeah.
Not just one of them?
Yes.
They all just call them all Bartholomew. It's the funniest thing in the world to me, because the first time I was listening to this, I had to re-listen to these chapters 6 times to really absorb what was going on. And the first time I was just like, man, I don't know who this Bartholomew is, but they are all over the fucking place. We never hear about them going anywhere. Like, how are they here? Then it was like the third time where I'm like, the fuck? Because then you hear the part where they say, the gargoyles call everyone Bartholomew. You're like, oh, okay,
They just don't care to...
so much up for me. Because I was like, who is Bartholomew? And how did they get here?
They don't care to learn anyone's names. On this, I have some trivia questions for everyone. You, sir, cannot answer them.
Good, because I probably can't answer them.
I'm going to be putting them in our book club, but by the time this publishes, it would have likely expired. I'll see if I can post it below on Spotify as a poll for some trivia questions. If not, I'm sorry. But here are some of the ones that we're going to be putting in. How tall are the gargoyles? You can't say it. You can't say it. This is for everyone to just kind of brainstorm to see if you know what it is, and I will try my best to answer these in the next episode. Why did the knight take off his helmet? I don't even remember why, actually. I wrote it down. I'm going to have to go back and check on that one. Did the dream water smell pleasant?
We addressed that.
Yeah, we already actually addressed that one. That's going to be a trivia one. Maybe I'll put in what exactly does it smell like and give some different options. And she is the daughter of blank. Secretly, I actually already said that. Those are some of my trivia questions. I think another one is, how are people chosen to receive a divination from this cult? And if the king lost the game at the end, what did he have to do?
Whoever loses has to do this.
Yeah. So those are some of our little trivia questions from the first 6 chapters. But back to that, yeah. The gargoyles, they are calling everyone Bartholomew and don't care to learn people's names. And they're actually made of stone, like actual stone.
Like gargoyles.
Yeah. And they're moving around.
Picturing? What are you picturing for a gargoyle?
I'm picturing like the stones that we see like in this medieval time, but it's a literal stone moving and they're really clunky. And also like...
You're thinking like Hunchback of Notre Dame style.
A little bit, but also the way that they move reminds me of the rocks in Breath of the Wild in Tears of the Kingdom. Do you remember those little rock stones that blow up when you throw them? Yeah. So they kind of like stomp around and move really, like you just got to scuttle, like walk a little bit faster and you outrun them.
They're a little clunky.
Yeah.
All right. So the 90s cartoon, gargoyles. Look this up. They had great hair, first of all. It's important to note that. They also had tails, and I think they turned to stone during the day.
What are they wearing? I didn't realize. I was imagining these gargoyles essentially without clothes, almost like stone carved.
Would you say they're rock hard?
Yeah.
But you didn't allow Michelangelo to be the sculptor of the peni, correct? Yeah, because that would have been weird. Just a tiny little penis on a huge
Why
gargoyle.
would they need genitals? They don't have genitals.
What? My gargoyles have dick.
But they don't need them.
Well, neither do a lot of people.
And we also learned that they are technically sprites.
Priests don't need them.
Well,
they're sworn to celibacy.
But they don't. I can't imagine stones can procreate in this world.
Can you imagine stones walking around? Perhaps they can, Adrian.
All right.
It's not a world of realism. Maybe when they splooge.
No.
It's just a little river rock. It spits out of the end.
You know when like those like super old tortoises are banging at the zoos and it's like the little grunts? That's what it would be like for them. Just slow moving and grunty.
Do you think they call each other Bartholomew?
Oh my God.
Deeper, Bart.
No.
Slower, Bart. Right there, Bart.
No.
I think this would be great. Like, I'm trying, Bart. Deeper. That's as deep as I can go, Bart. That's all the penis Bart has.
Calls himself.
Yeah. They refer to everything as Bart. Oh, is your dad got a nickname? Yeah, I call mine Bartholomew. What's yours called? Also Bartholomew. I think this would be so much fun. My gargoyle's wearing a loincloth, but a fancy loincloth because he's a part of this order. So it's like a black tuxedo, but only around his groin.
Okay.
Like a tuxedo Speedo.
I think that's a little closer to what I was imagining. I went because somebody posted in the book club asking, are they literally made of stone? I was like, yeah, I think so. And I took a screenshot of this little garden gargoyle stone piece and I posted it in there. Like, this is what I'm imagining. And then upon further inspection of the screenshot I sent, they gave it pubes to hide between its legs. And I'm just like, except for the pubes, I don't know. They have to have
Yours are
loincloth.
manscaped?
The
The
one that
gargoyle in your head is manscaped, you mean? You saw those pubes and you're like, there's no way he let it go that far.
I didn't think that they had genitals, and I just found it so wild that there are these garden gargoyles and no clothes other than their pubes
Does it
hiding.
have hair on top of its head?
No.
Then it is interesting that he would have such a lush pube valley.
Yeah, he was squatting down completely with his legs kind of open. It was just like pubes and hidden, nothing there. I'm like, well, why not put a loincloth on
Why
it?
do you assume it's a him then?
Fair. I guess I can't tell the difference between a male and female. But again, why would there be male and females? I don't even think they should have genitals. Why am I accepting this? No,
Why don't you
They're
think they
just-
should have genitals?
they're just stones.
With love and personalities, they have brains, but they can't have penis?
I don't
I don't know. I'm a little upset that you're painting them into this corner.
We are barely getting through this. The gargoyle calls them, Bartholomew, tells them that they need to get back over there. And there was a mention about what they look like. Do they have wings? And
Don't-
can they fly but choose not to?
I don't know. I'm going to assume they can't fly. If they are made of stone, they'd be very dense. And the wings themselves would be very dense. I don't know how big they'd have to be to achieve lift. We're right back.
But it's magical. They're moving. They're sprites.
Then do they need wings to fly?
All right, by that logic, no.
I think they could just, fairy dust their way around.
True. Do you know how this came to be when they showed back up? The gargoyle says something, if I were beside myself, there would be two of me, and the washing would have taken half the time. I like how dense they are.
Yes. Well, are they dense or are they just taking things literally?
Very literal.
Maybe they... Nope.
Oh,
No.
I remember how it came to be. He was giving her linens to go into the water, and he says that he washed them.
She's like, oh, you're just beside yourself with this sort of nonsense, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, if I were beside myself, there would be two.
Yes, exactly.
He takes things very literally, but also he doesn't. Because when she throws up on the floor, he's like, I just scrubbed the floor. She's like, the fuck you did? I scrubbed the floor. He's like, I labored to instruct you on how to do it. I'm like, okay, this is great. Good job, dude.
And then I think there was some mention about how he needed her to go somewhere. He's like, I guess I'm going to be here scrubbing the floors because you threw up on it.
Yeah, I like that the gargoyles don't pay them a lot of credence. Like, they're clearly important, the diviners, but the gargoyles are like, we've seen a million of you come through. I'm going to be here long after you're not.
Yes, that's definitely the vibe. Because it's not like they think less of each other, like less of the diviners, or even vice versa.
It's a very equal treatment, it appears.
Yeah. Well, she gets the robes. They're very thin. The water is oily with a rotting flower smell to it. And that's where we see it was the boy king who paid for a last-minute divination. These are all made-up words, right?
No.
A divination is a thing?
Correct.
Well, my spelling thing couldn't figure it out. Maybe I spelled it wrong. I don't know.
So, it's like divine vision is what a divination would be. A foresight given to you from some divine thing.
And that's exactly what's happening here. We go into the dreams. I think I'm now picking it up. I like that we went as far as chapter 6 because it gives us a bit of a rounded view of what these dreams are about, at least with the introduction. We have 6 omens, 6 gods, but 5 of them actually hold on to literal stone items. I don't know if I have them all written down. There is something about coin, inkwell, ore, chime, loomstone. Yeah, I think that's all 5 of them.
And the 6th one is going to be love.
I think the 6th one was mentioned because this is where...
It's a gargoyle penis.
No, the sexy witcher woman that I was imagining, she's telling the story to the Boy King about how he came to be, where this spring came from. And I thought that was a really clever way to give us a backstory. Here's this repetitive story that we tell at every divination. But we also personally get to hear about it, that the spring seemed to be this random little pond and that a young girl, I thought, drowned in it. She had dreams and she woke up from it and then she was telling everybody about it.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting way to start a cult. That is exactly what I believe the story was.
Shameless plug between chapters.
Want more daggers and shadow daddies? Get a month ahead of where you're at right now. Sign up for 1 month on Patreon and then cancel that shit after you binged it.
That was great.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I know how their advertisements work, and this is what I wish they did. It was only 5 seconds long. I also like the idea that we get exposition that serves a purpose within the book. Not just 2 dumbass characters. The only bone I would have to pick with this is very famous.
This location?
Yeah,
yes.
And what they do is very famous. The Boy King should know kind of what's going on. Other than they made him young and sort of come off like kind of a young idiot of a king. So it made the exposition make sense.
I thought this was like almost a ritual. Every time we do a divination,
Yes.
we retell this story.
Oh, man. Can you imagine how annoying that would be if you were 1 through 6?
That's where number 6 was repeating some of it
Oh, you're right.
while she was standing there waiting. And at one point, I think it was early in the beginning, he shows up, he pays with his coin, he cuts his hand, she drinks his blood. Then the long story begins as she's just sitting there with the nasty taste of blood in her mouth and just...
Do you think she was like, this guy needs to drink more pineapple juice?
Oh my God, Ryan, no.
What? You don't think that would sweeten your blood a little?
Stop it. I know what you're doing.
You don't know me.
So she goes into the story. What did you gain or have any comments, notes, concerns about how this place came to be?
But I think they might be more vampires than witches.
Oh, because they drink the blood.
Yeah, I don't see where... I mean, I also wonder how many of these people die, because at this point in time, this is basically not the Bronze Age, but it's somewhere in that zone of things, right? I would assume that STDs and things are running rampant, and she's out here drinking blood.
Ryan, no.
I think it's a concern.
Get out of here. I'm going to move this story
Do you
along.
think that there is one of these 1 through 6 that is very, very sensitive, and they can be like, ooh, you're having liver trouble. You should go see a healer. Perhaps you have diabetes. So when they leave this place and they're no longer having these dreams, perhaps they're just out there drinking little shots of people's blood, telling them whether or not their blood sugar is good and bad.
I don't know why I'm letting you
It's
continue.
like your HDL getting a little out there. The LDL looking okay. You're probably fine. But you should lay off of the stag.
Well, we don't really learn how they got to this point as far as why blood is needed, because the first girl did not drink any blood. I'm under the assumption that the first girl actually drowned in this pond water thing. But it wasn't explicitly said that. It was like she went in the water and drank, drowned herself and had dreams.
The rotting flowers are probably, there's some psychedelics in this bad boy grown.
Yes.
And that's what they're really getting. And because they go through the whole story before those guys go in, you've implanted some things in their mind to affect their trip when they have it. And they're throwing up because it was a lot of fucking mushrooms.
It would be a lot.
You've never taken mushrooms?
No.
If you do take mushrooms, first of all, they taste gross. The description of what we get as far as this tasting like rotting nastiness, I could see mushrooms in water becoming this way. Second thing, if you overdo the mushrooms, you're going to throw up.
So this is just a acid trip.
No.
Not an acid trip.
It's a mushroom trip. It's a bad one.
Okay.
I think there's something to be said for that. Why are they getting the blood? Little extra iron, maybe.
I thought it was more ritual for the whole blood thing as a way for the individual to think that their divination is personalized to them.
Wouldn't it make more sense to be like, oh, let's just take like a hair off of them and grind it up and put it in this little vat of water, and then they just take a shot of the water. And oh, I'm sorry, is that more or less gross than drinking the blood straight from their nasty hand?
I don't actually know.
Well, they wouldn't actually have to drink it with, you just make it look like you're putting the fucking hair in there. You could, sleight of hand. They're magicians.
Well, she goes into her dreams, and before she goes into her dreams, there's 6 shadowy figures.
Yeah, like the things surrounding the pool, holding on to all of the...
Yeah, because there were like these window pane pieces that have all of the figures on them.
Stained glass.
Have the objects with them, and then the last one is a moth that only shows up around births and deaths. And that's all we get. But that one rarely shows up during the divination. So she goes through it, and she's going through each layer, I think 5 layers of dreams of inception things. She goes to number 1, and then she speaks out, and she says what she sees. Number 2, and does that, and it's supposed to be this omen necessarily. Do the omens favor the boy king? And what I got from it was every single one of them were negative.
Have you read Dante's Inferno?
No.
You should. We should do that, actually, at some point. Just... if nothing else for us.
What's the connection?
The 7 layers of hell.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, because she's going, it seemed like it got deeper and deeper and deeper. And wherever she last landed, it was very scary and very fearful. And she's running and running and running. And then you have the gargoyle, I think, smacking her, waking her up. Like, Bartholomew,
wake the fuck up.
And then she's like puking. He's like, oh, God damn it.
Fucking Bartholomew, you're gross. Bartholomew, come clean this up after Bartholomew.
So yes, she has the dreams of each omen and relays what she sees the stones doing. For the boy king, he was not favored by the omens. Chapter 3, she has her memory of being a little girl. I thought on my first listen through, she is one of 100 girls who are going through this trial, and they're like drowning all of them, and only 6 survived and were deemed capable of doing a divination. No, that is not what happened.
I kind of like that idea.
I thought it was great.
They get a burn through. They're like, well, we lost 93. Ooh, fingers crossed. 94's out. Looks like we only got 6 diviners. And I wonder how often they do this ritual. Do they do it as these women graduate? Or do all of these women graduate at the same time and they replace all 6 of them at once?
I have no idea. I don't know their age differences, or if I thought from this beginning of chapter 3, one, I'm going to clarify, she was crying and it echoed in the cathedral and it sounded like 100 girls crying also. There were not 100 other girls with her going through this. And then she is offered this love and motherly acceptance.
I'm a sexy witch mother.
Exactly. And she's like, why wouldn't I accept this? This is what I want. And then there were 5 other girls also. So I'm under the impression that all 6 joined at the same exact time and that they replace all 6 at the end of 10 years.
I like that.
But I think when it comes to experience, though, let's say you get a divination and you have a fresh batch that are barely trained.
But who's really interpreting that? I think our sexy witch mom is kind of who really interprets things.
Oh, yeah, because they're the ones who are just relaying what they visually see. Yeah. And it's interpreted by the mother person. Oh, that's a great take. So yeah, the gargoyle woke her. She's sick. She then walks to a stone cottage. There's like this campus-like area.
And there's a building for each one of those figures.
Yeah. And the knight and the king, they're all staying there. They're in these like dormitories. She gets to her cottage, and this is where you thought we're getting another female main character, love interest.
Yes. Sexy lady knight.
Yeah.
Maud.
So she runs into her. I don't know why she was hanging out there other than she just saw, she's there to protect the king, and she saw someone in the shadows. She's like, who is it? She's like, 6. And obviously that's not a good answer, yelling out a number. They're like, no, what is your name? She's like, 6.
Well, yeah, because she forgot her name. Her real name was Claudia or something like that. And when she drowned, they're like, that's not your name anymore. She's like, that's not my name anymore. Do you remember the Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah.
It's like the little hat that goes on things. She's like, your name is Six. My name is Six.
What was the whole point, though? I think it's brought up later why they're stripped of their names, why they're stripped of their past, why they're stripped of uniqueness. What is the purpose?
I think that just follows religion in general. Monks wear one thing. Nuns wear one thing. Priests wear one thing. Because your point is not to be an individual. You are now a vassal of whatever this is.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
involved in.
Okay.
Kind of like why when you go to work at certain places, they're like, oh, here's the uniform you have to wear. You're not supposed to be Adriana, the beautiful, smart, funny young lady.
Oh, my God.
You're supposed to be Adriana, representative of this company.
Okay, I think that's a great answer because I kept trying to piece together, and it seemed like even she couldn't even tell what the answer was when people ask, why do you guys do those things? She's not even supposed to say why.
Do you think she has eyes like a bald one?
No.
Oh.
Like super, I thought you said bald one instead of Baldwin.
Oh, like bald people can't have cool eyes?
Like,
I see,
no,
I see what's up. Do you think she has eyes like bald people do? You know, Michael Jordan, Vin Diesel, and The Rock. Famous eyes of those three men.
That's so dumb.
Oh, no, I'm dumb. I said a bald one. They have famously incredibly piercing eyes.
Okay, yes. Well, back to the story. Her eyes are hidden. She runs into the
Her eyes are hidden because she might have Michael Jordan's gaze. She can see anybody about to make a move.
She mentions that she wants to get a drink of water in the dining hall, and the knight is like, no, 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 no. And she
grabs her.
Yeah.
Grabs her. And then there's a little bit of chemistry there. It's an exchange.
No, but
she feels a tingle.
There was no chemistry. The chemistry, I think, happened when she opens the door and she sees the sexy half-nude knight with the undone, laced up trousers.
With just his pubes lightly bushing out the top.
Had to have been
just bushing out there. He's like, what's up with that guy?
And he's got what's the term to use to not sound old? The idle weed rolled up.
Marijuana.
Yeah, rolled up, hanging out of his mouth.
My boy's got a fat ass J. And he's been ripping on that bad boy. He's also bruised all to shit.
Yes.
And his muscles are dark. Because it's dark in there, I guess, also.
I'm assuming this lit by a fireplace, and that's
on the other side of the room.
Ambiance we have.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the room. So he's got all this complementary shading, and he's just yoked, and his muscles are... he's just... like, the skin is barely stretched over this dude's crazy bulging muscles. And he's wearing his shoes at this point. And they're like, get out, I'm naked. And she's like, no, I'm going to look at this half-naked man. She doesn't even notice the king.
No,
initially.
yeah, the king, they're having a whole conversation, and the king's like over by the fireplace, I think.
But then she smells it. What does she smell? Piss water. She's like, who stole the piss water? And the king's like, what piss water? There's no piss water. She's like, I want a drink of water. And he's like, well, we'll fetch some for you. And she's like, perhaps out of your piss water trough thing. Little canteen that he's got. And she's like, no, you stole that. He's like, I would never. And she's like, well, if people drink that and they're not diviners, they're just going to throw up and get really sick. So fuck off. It's not going to be fun for you. And then she throws up. Basically, does that sound right to you?
I think so, because she's still nauseous from earlier, and then I think smelling the water again. And I think it's also in the scene that she holds it over his head. Does she ask him here to take them out of town? Let's look. So the king took the spring water. She ran. Oh, she ran away. And the knight chased her.
Well, no, so she threw up on his shoes first. And he caught up to her, barefoot, pants askew, barely held up by his bulging booty cheeks. Because he's got a badonkadonk. He's tearing after her. He catches up to her. She gets to a gate. I don't know why she ran away like that. She went for water. She never got her water.
She never got her water.
She just threw up.
Nauseous. I don't know. I don't think I was paying attention. I think I was more just loving the scene. So I'm like, oh my God, he's chasing her. And I didn't really think of when she threw up, but she did at some point. And I just blocked that out.
I would like to add, if a strange man who's been mildly aggressive to you starts chasing you, it's probably not the way that you were taking this initially.
Yeah, and I think she was taking it correctly. Like, get the hell away from me.
Yes, I completely agree. And she did what she could do to fend him off. Projectile vomiting. That normally gets them away from you. I also like that he had the foresight to go, I'm taking my shoes off to chase her, so I don't track this nastiness through this castle and get called a Bartholomew by the guy that has to clean the floors.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Right. It was a nice move. He's caring. When he does catch up to her, his voice is described.
Yes.
In the funniest way to me.
Oh.
No, not in a bad way. I can't make sense of it. And it got me thinking about what would this mean. It's subharmonics.
Oh. I was thinking that he's been smoking weed this whole time, so his throat is scratchy and deep.
And smooth. And kind of high in some areas. His voice is described as opposing ideas because there's 4 descriptors used for his voice. I cannot remember exactly what they are. But it was like low and gravelly and then smooth and soft or something like that. Basically to the effect of it carried. It's full. And it's low, but it's not.
How does this get into subharmonics? And you tested our voices on this little app thing. And I thought that was so cool that you and me are speaking at the same tone, but 2 different octaves.
Yeah, it's really neat, actually. It's like the same key, but different octaves, which I found really interesting. But no, basically subharmonics is your voice is making one noise, but your vocal cords are vibrating at another tone. It's a really cool thing to listen to. Beatboxers do it all the time. In some singers, but for the most part, it's a beatboxing thing, is my understanding. You know the guy that does Black Betty in the beatboxing?
Yes.
That's subharmonics.
So are you listening to this book and you start thinking about his voice and thinking about subharmonics, thinking about the beatboxing, and by the time that you realize you've missed part of the book and you're like, God damn it, now I got to start over again.
Every fucking time. I did that like 4 times through this chapter where I kept getting distracted. Also, he's very tall, but he's very lazy. So he doesn't stand up to his full height.
Oh.
Because it would labor him to do so.
You do this. And then sometimes when you straighten up, it's really attractive.
Yeah, but good posture. It makes sense to me because it's one of the first books where it made sense for a tall person to not have good posture because it's so rare. Tall people generally do not sit up straight or even stand straight because you're generally trying to get closer to the person that you're talking to. So you do a lot of hunching. And in most of these books, it's all described as, he's so tall, his posture is amazing, his back is so straight. And you're like, the fuck? What 7-foot tall person have you ever seen that stands up straight?
When they're around another 7-foot person?
That's exactly it. The only time tall people sit up straight is when they're around another tall person. And it's not like now see, we're both tall. It's more like, oh, you are trying to be close to that person. You just stand up straight. I don't know. I enjoyed that detail.
I enjoyed the detail of him giving her a drag. And then she's getting calm and she just starts burning through it. He's like, that is enough. And he takes it back and gets the last one.
You know that bubonic chronic made her choke.
Wait, what? What'd you just say?
You know that bubonic chronic made her choke?
I've never heard of that phrase.
Yes, you have.
I know that's a kind.
It's a lyric from the song Gin and Juice.
Isn't that the...
Chronic is, yeah, chronic is. I don't know, bubonic chronic was nothing. I never smoked anything that was named after a plague. I don't think that ever happened.
Well, I thought it was great. And I don't know where she got the rest of it because then later, I'm under the impression this is her first time having idle weed. She obviously loves it. And then in the next chapter, she's got enough for all the girls.
Yeah, because it treats their sickness.
Where'd she get it from?
Well, probably one of the gargoyles.
And she just stole it?
Well, I'm thinking one of the gargoyles probably slid her a little. You know, she's like, hey, you know where I can get me some of that sticky stuff? You know what I'm talking about? And he's like, Bartholomew, I got you.
Gargoyles have been smoking it this entire time.
That's why they call everybody Bartholomew. They can't remember anybody's name.
Well, he calls her out in this moment while they're smoking together that he pretty much thinks she's sheltered and gives more of his opinions of this place. And I think she also notes, why weren't you in there? He's like, oh, you noticed? He's like, because it's all bullshit.
Yeah. I liked this moment too. Where he's like, nope, it's fake. Everything's vague. It's like fortune tellers.
You can interpret it however you want. If you wanted it to be something good, it could be. If you wanted it something bad, you could have made it that way.
It's how I see tarot and stuff like that. which if you're into it, more power to you. The mysticism of it all is super nifty. It just doesn't appeal to me because I'm like, well, yeah, man, anything could be true. You're going to meet your true love.
But I like that we have a good skeptic critic in this.
I agree. And I think it's going to, again, show that it's nonsense.
And I think he brings up, he recognizes her age and that she's probably going to be out. Like, what is your plan? I think at one point she said that she wanted to be like a stone masonry person. She's just like, I
didn't get that she was going to be a stonemason. That's very funny. She's
I
like, I want to lay brick.
Because I think that at some point he asked her, like, what are you going to do? She's like, I don't know, maybe stonework? I could be full of shit.
I think maybe she did, but there's no way she did that seriously.
Well, I don't think he took her seriously. Like, that's ridiculous. What do you mean?
You weigh 84 pounds. You can't do this. I'm sorry.
But it was part of this whole, you were incredibly sheltered and naive. You're not going to make it out there. And I think that's what prompted her for wanting to now go out and about. She's like, no, I'm going to do fine.
I think he brings up the fact that not only is she sheltered, she's used to being so important. And when they retire, they're just regular people.
Yes.
So what the fuck are you going to do? And she had a little bit of concern as well.
I think so. And I think that's what prompted this whole adventure that we're about to go on.
Yeah, I would agree.
In chapter 4, we're back with all the girls. I don't know if they all sleep in the same room. Doesn't even matter.
There's bunks.
Okay. And one of the girls slept with a married man. And I think she was bothered by it. But there's another girl in there who truly would not care.
She doesn't. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm here to get off. If they can provide that, that's what I'm there for.
They're all expected to hide their hearts, just like their eyes and names. So falling in love is not acceptable.
I think that's fair.
She slept with a man who is terrible in bed. Number 6, their main character. She slept with a man who is terrible in bed. So now she's more reserved compared to the other girls.
Which, again, I thought was her coming to the point where she knew she was a lesbian.
No.
She was just like, a wiener just isn't for me.
I can see your point because then she tries sleeping with another man. And again, she's like...
disappointing.
How shitty. Men suck.
Yeah, it's weird. And wasn't it the second one? He had lied to her and he was married and she was turned off by that. And he's like, would it matter if I were married? No, that's later.
That's her trying to pick which guy to take to the grass. What's up with the phrase take to the grass? Is it
that's
very
where they go.
literal?
Yeah, they go out in a field and fuck.
That's so gross to me.
Well, they could fuck somewhere else, but it's more complicated versus just going over the hill. There's a nice grassy patch there.
Yeah.
Blankets and whatnot laid out.
So 6 wants to sneak out, so she goes to the knight, Rory, to take her to Trom. We're audiobook listeners. I don't know. I think I got it spelled right because the title of one of the chapters says Trom. I think that's the name of the town. I could be full of it. I don't actually know.
Hold on. We missed a very important point here.
What did we miss?
We missed that 3 of the girls in the morning that she came in were coming in the morning afterward because they had been out with dudes. Number 4, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 4 or 1 was super promiscuous and they were like, I'm going to go fuck that night and I'm bringing my ladies with me. They'll each get their own dude too. I assume they're going to fuck in different grass patches or are they just high-fiving next to each other?
I don't know. I thought
it's literal.
In the grass was
to the field.
Literal and also figurative. And this night, when the girls came back from the morning, that they were in the knight's rooms was my assumption.
I think they were in the grass.
Literally?
Yes. I think they were literally in the grass. It's a beautiful meadow. I don't know. It sounds kind of nice.
It sounds so scratchy.
Well, if you lay down a blanket, you're not an animal.
Well, sure, but later when we actually hear about laying down on the grass, it's very scratchy. She even talks about, the back of this tree isn't feeling very good anymore.
Well, it's because they went to the tree versus the meadow.
Oh my God. Okay. Ruined the whole ambiance.
I don't like trees. Okay. Well, not for that purpose. I like trees in general. Nobody wants to fuck on a tree. Even bears don't do it in the tree.
I think that I could enjoy that experience, but it would have to be just such a large blanket.
And a soft tree.
A very soft tree.
All right. Well, I'm down to give it a shot.
Oh, okay.
I'm here to help.
Sounds good. Well, after that scene is when she's got this idea and the girls are totally on board. Like, wow, what's gotten into six? She's never had these ideas. They're like all on board because they've been asking to leave.
Except for, I believe, 2 and 5. 2 and 5 are a little... 5's still trying to be the favorite.
Really? You remember all these numbers? I can't tell them all apart.
Well, they're addressed by number, which helps. But...
Do you prefer numbers as names versus actual names?
Yes.
That does sound like a you thing.
I think it would be so handy. Night number 3 would be great. Or we can just call everybody Bartholomew, which I'm sort of on board for also. But yeah, the witch queen lady comes in, the caretaker, comes in there to talk to him. And she sits on number 6's bed, I believe, to discuss shit with them all. Where she pretends like she doesn't know what they're up to. They pretend like they're not up to anything. And number 5 is kissing ass. She's like, how can the king not be more upset? He got 5 bad omens. And she's like, well, you know, he's a fucking idiot. And she's like, yeah, that man's a fool. Love me, mommy. That was the energy.
Do you remember from Tangled the mother that would brush her hair and sing the song? Yeah, that level of crazy is what I'm picturing this woman. It'd be really terrible if she ends up actually being a wonderful person, but I'm not buying it.
I'm dubious of that fact.
Yeah.
I
You don't
agree.
just kidnap orphan girls and drown them to give you divinations.
Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm not going to push my morals on that lady.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, then she must leave.
Mhm.
And then as like 6 bursts into wherever the night is, and she's like telling him and demanding, you're going to take us to the city.
Because you said I'm no fun, you're going to show me what fun is.
Yeah. And I'll keep my mouth shut about you guys stealing water.
Yeah. She blackmails him. Like a good witch.
So she sternly tells the knight to be a good little soldier and to escort my diviners.
And
cute.
she's possessive of the diviners, clearly.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how I feel about that. And when she says, be good little soldier.
Be a good little soldier.
Yeah,
won't you?
it's really funny because it's assertive and sort of demeaning.
Like
Do
he
you
likes
think-
it.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody kind of likes it a little. But do you think of Hosier's song, Nobody Soldier?
That song is so perfect.
Right?
Oh my God. That is such a good fit for this whole vibe too and how it flows. And I started reflecting a little bit. I don't think I'm giving this book as much love as I really felt.
No, I don't think so. You've been telling me constantly all week, oh my God, this is the greatest book ever. I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
I'm loving this book so much. Well, I started kind of questioning our whole conversation here of like, oh no, am I being a little hard on it or anything like that?
No, you're not.
Okay.
You have offered zero criticism.
There is no criticism.
Correct. You're feeling about this book the way I felt about the Book of Azrael.
Oh no, I was thinking about the way that you feel towards Mistborn.
Probably, I don't think I felt the way you feel about it as early.
Oh,
Mistborn.
okay. Yeah.
I gained my appreciation for Mistborn by like halfway through the book. Yeah, I mean, it was good from the beginning, but it wasn't like, wow, this is incredible, really until the end. And even then I was like, fuck, I don't want this book to end. I feel about this book the way you felt about the first several chapters of the Book of Azrael.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
No.
Because I was really struggling at the beginning because it was so different to get into.
Yes. That's
okay.
It's hard for me to get into. I have faith that I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this book because it's getting better by chapter 6. I'm really liking it. But it took 6 chapters to get me to the point where I was enjoying it. I enjoyed parts of it. Again, Bartholomew, that's my favorite fucking joke of any of these books. I'm not even joking. The gargoyles that just call everybody Bartholomew is so funny to me because they're like a Pikachu.
Yeah.
Well, they just keep saying Pikachu. Yeah. Bartholomew. I fucking love it.
Well, back to where we were at the end of chapter 4. I'm assuming Mother showed up to see which one of you are going to be drowned later. And this time it wasn't 6, but after she sternly tells Rory, you're going to be taking us into town, royalty left, there's still lots of people at the cathedral. And what they're doing is they're trying to be chosen to be
Divined.
Yeah. And they give it to the highest bidder. Which,
Like all good religions,
exactly.
whoever's got the most money is probably correct.
And I think it's just a really nice way of showing us how shitty this place is. It's not based off a need. It's not based off of random choice because you can't choose between who deserves it more or something like that. It's who has the most money. And the king obviously has so much, he was able to get a spontaneous one.
It also leads me into how are they using these funds? Because they have a very rundown building. The architecture sucks and it's got a big steel door. Nobody goes there and uses this place.
And later, the knight is asking them about what are you going to do when you're done? And we learn they don't get any money. Nothing. No. They make nothing. They have no savings, no nothing, no skills that they can use outside of this place.
They're going to need sunglasses.
Yes, sure. But yeah, it's a great question. What are they using this money for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have any guesses?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
For each other.
I have no idea. I assume maybe it's like a gargoyle college fund.
Oh, okay.
They're sending off all the baby gargoyles that they're creating there.
Procreating.
Correct. Through the old school, biblical method. One gargoyle lays with another Bartholomew, and then they have a baby Bartholomew. And they're like, how are we going to teach this gargoyle that everybody's called Bartholomew? Well, we send him to Gargoyle Uni. How do we pay for such a thing? We need a few more kings to come in here with divinations because gargoyle school ain't cheap, baby.
You think this entire scheme is a gargoyle scheme?
Yeah. I think the gargoyles need to become more highly educated. And for that to happen, it's a generational thing. It takes time. And this woman who's the witch queen or whatever we call her, the madam of this place, so to speak.
I'm calling her mother now.
Okay. I won't do that. She's the witch queen to me.
All right.
So I think she really cares for these gargoyle babies. And she's like, how are we going to ever get them educated?
Gargoyle babies, that would be so cute.
Right? And can you imagine the baby clothes and how they tear through them? They've still got sharp edges. They're not worn down yet and smooth.
Oh my God.
Their little rocky thigh is just rubbing through onesies. Boom, tiny gargoyle penis exposed. Oh no, we need better clothing for them. We're going to need some money for that.
Why would they need diapers if they're just shitting out rocks?
Well, they don't shit rocks because they don't eat. They don't pee or poop. But they're babies.
But they come? Adults?
Not babies.
Adults.
Okay, yes. Yeah, once their pebbles have dropped, they reach an age where they can again splooge out some river rock.
No.
Yeah.
When you just,
imagine it's clay. Maybe it's clay, right? Or perhaps it's like a low aggregate concrete mixture, like what you'd use for concrete countertops, where it's just a really fine dust. And
that's how they're building the new buildings.
Yeah, it's just gargoyle jizz. They got to fill those rocks somehow. Like, Bartholomew, come here. Oh, I'm close, Bartholomew. Quick, toward the wall. Boom.
No.
You don't think so?
Well, obviously I don't think so, but
what do you mean,
obviously?
Find it fun. Like, we'll use some of our pond water and mix it with some gargoyle jizz, and we got mastic. Not to worry. Mortar, sorry. Important distinction to be made.
Very important, yes, I'm sure.
We set bricks with mortar, not mastic.
Okay.
I'm a fool.
Well, I don't think we're going to get these details of if they procreate or not.
Well, how many books are there going to be?
2.
The second book is all gargoyle fucking.
No. Chapter 5.
Sometimes it's 2 lady gargoyles. No. And they just rub rocks together.
No.
They're just wearing them down smooth. It's like a worry stone betwixt their legs. I think this would be so funny. Like, well, that gargoyle's about used up. Wow, what's she been doing? She's worn out to nothing.
No.
It's just been grinding.
No.
You imagine the more sexually active a gargoyle is, the more it wears down their pieces.
Oh.
Like, you got one of them where their penis just looks like a pencil sharpened. It's just like, they're like, wow, well, he really enjoyed his 20s. He was sticking in every gargoyle who'd have him. Now we have him for the detail work. He's sitting there filling all the small cracks. I think that would be awesome.
No.
Oh, we got one gargoyle. Jerome's there. He's there for setting all the biggest rocks. When he comes, it's crazy. Well, man, he laid out 10 pounds of mortar in one go. Yes, he did. Everybody else just calls him Bartholomew, but they lower their voice when they do it. He's Bartholomew. Wouldn't that be cute?
Cute?
Adorable, even.
No.
But there's no pleasing you. I don't know what to do with this.
I guess, chapter 5.
Welcome to the podcast about gargoyle jizz.
The girls have smoked all of the idle weed.
All of it?
Yeah, they ran out.
Well, they didn't get enough.
Clearly. Someone knocks on the door.
They're opening a window real fast, trying to waft the air out.
They take their final drag because Six holds on to it. What is it called where you hold it for so long? There's a term.
It depends. You can ghost it, is what we used to call it, is when you just inhale and you maintain it until it's not smoky anymore.
Okay, that's what Six is doing when there's a knock on the door. She's getting her final puffs going because when the door opens, the Knights, I think, come in, and she's just holding it, and then you have Handsome Knight just flickers and looks at her, and she gets noticed, and she like exhales it all out.
And then everybody starts giggling.
Something.
That's not true, but it would be funny.
But I think just before they come in...
They do what?
One of the girls says that they look like the statues out in the courtyard. I interpreted this to mean we are so fucking stoned that we look like the statues. Maybe it's not what it meant. I like to think that it was that.
I'll run with it. I thought she was talking about the knights look like the statues in the courtyard. Like, oh, some of them are so handsome and well put together.
Oh, maybe that's what they were. I thought it was like us. We're so fucking stoned we look like statues.
Oh, that totally could be. You're right. I bet you're correct.
But the group of knights, they show up to be paired up with a diviner each so no one gets lost. And Rory notices.
So no one gets lost.
Well, the girls have never been out and about. I think it's appropriate.
They're not babies. You just tell them, like, hey, stay with the group. You're in your 20s. You're not 8 years old. It's not like, oh, she saw a butterfly and we lost one.
Well, look what happens when one of them gets separated. Things don't go well.
Maybe they are like children. Little dumbasses.
Well, that's kind of what Rory is saying. He's like, you guys are so sheltered. I don't think you're going to make it out there.
They should put them on those little harnesses like you do children that don't behave.
No.
Just strap them into harnesses. You're like, whoa, pull them back, retract the leash a little.
It's like a bit of a kink, given how they're dressed up and on a leash.
They could pass this off if it was all just a leather and chains.
That's what it would look like. And then you have the men. No.
They don't need to wear their covering for their eyes. They could just wear a gimp suit with no eyes over the face part.
Oh my God, no. Anyways, they show up. Rory noticed who she was. That's part of the he can tell her apart from the others.
Yeah, well, do they all look the same? I thought they were just dressed the same.
They are dressed the same. I assume that their hair is done in a way that's all the same.
Adri, I mean this so kindly. When you go watch a sporting event, those people are all in the exact same clothes. Several of those people have very similar hairstyles, similar builds even, more obstructed from view. You're going to tell me they even got like, well, this one, he's identifying by tit size. This could be the way where he's like, I prefer that one. Six's cups are for me.
Well, knock it off. No, well, I was just going to say that's when she lets out the rest of the smoke that she's holding in. And I thought it was more romantic than you're making it out to be.
Why is that not romance?
It's kind of like masquerades. You can tell.
I've never understood the idea that it was a mystery who was under the mask.
I was just going to say that.
Batman logic.
I agree with you. But the whole point is, like, I can spot you very easily.
You can, because there's only 6 of them. What the fuck? I can spot you easily. We're in the same room, and there are 6 people. I've spent more time with one of you than absolutely everyone else. I'd know that face from anywhere. Well, you can't see my eyes. How do you know who I am? What? Are you fucking Clark Kent? But I was wearing the glasses. They'll never know. This is amazing.
Fine. So they go on.
She's 6'2", and the rest of them are 5'3". And he's like, I'd know that face anywhere. It's your eyes that did it for me. What the fuck? Get out of here. This is nonsense. He can see enough of her where he can guess her age. And she acts like, how does he know? What the fuck? Have you seen another human being? How do you know the difference between 1 through 5? Nobody has any idea who they are until they take their mask off. This seems insane to me.
Well, they go on their little adventure. I'm assuming they're all walking. That doesn't make sense because they're in armor for the knights.
You don't think knights can walk in armor?
Not easily.
How do you think they do battle?
Like walking into town? It's a little ways away.
Yeah, but we don't know how heavy their armor is. If they're used to walking around in it, this I'm not taking an issue with.
All right. Well, then they see sprites, and they make me think of these creepy little pixies.
Why are they creepy in your mind?
They have the nasty teeth and fangs.
Yeah, but lots of cute things have fangs. Look at possums.
Those aren't cute.
What? Are
Maybe.
you kidding me? Possums are like the cutest thing in the world. They're little snoots. And they're North American marsupial. They're amazing. Their little hairless tails. Like you just want to go down their little tail.
I think that you're proving my point that
Their
sprites
little
are creepy.
hands.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like it?
Well, I would enjoy a baby possum.
Well, a grown possum.
No.
If
Have you
if
seen
I found a 5-year-old possum, I think they only live to be 7. So perhaps we bring them into our home and give them a warm place to live. And they have babies, that's fine. You can play with babies. But even like a grown possum, you wouldn't want to just cuddle up with it at nighttime and just...
Do you remember the lady in this city? She has a pet possum that she does its nails and she does its makeup and she puts it in clothes.
Yeah, it's the pretty possum.
Yeah, I don't know its name though.
I want to say Penelope, but I want to say that now because it's pretty possum.
Oh,
And I like
okay.
alliteration. Bianca? What is that possum's name?
I don't know the possum's name.
I should remember it.
But it has like blush and lipstick and eyelashes or eyebrows, I think.
She's a beautiful possum. She has
Well-
crazy big eyelashes. She's all done up, and her little nails are so stinking cute.
Again, I think, sure, they're as creepy as a possum.
No,
which isn't
wait.
creepy,
Thank you.
right? Yep.
How do you
Then-
feel about beavers?
Better than a possum.
I also like beavers.
Oh, do you? Well, one of the knights knocks him out and she's upset about it, which I think is fair. You see these creatures for the first time. They're not harming anyone. They like hit one so hard that it kills it.
Knocks it out. Do they murder it?
I think it dies.
Oh.
And it's in this moment that we learn that gargoyles are also a sprite, but they're trained and whatnot. And that's why they're acceptable. But these ones are sprites that are not.
They're monsters.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Not to be trusted. And then out of nowhere, she decides she's going to sleep with one of the knights in the grass.
His name is Hamill, I believe.
I don't even care what his name is. He's a dirtbag. So they go out there and he's thinking about how amazing it's going to be that he has slept with the diviner.
He's like, I can't wait to tell everybody I've ever met that I fucked a diviner. And she's like, actually, I'm a little dry now. Thanks. She walks away.
Well, and I think he was almost like, well, we could still make this work. She's like, you really want to fuck me when I'm not even into it?
And you're like, yeah,
He didn't
doesn't
say.
change the story.
I think he kind of felt some shame a little bit. He's like, well, then give me something. Can I see your eyes? Can I get your name? Something as a
A
token.
quick hand job.
Something. Nothing, obviously. And she leaves. And I love the callback to this later of how quick this moment was. And they insult him. Wow, that must have been pretty quick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So they finish up whatever the hell that was. Chapter 6. They are in town. I think she's actually all by herself. I did not realize this in the beginning. There's lots of tents. You can see the king's castle. And she mentions coin, which is really fitting if you're in like a market and people are trying to heckle you into purchasing things. And then somebody grabs her.
Heckle you into purchasing things?
Is that the wrong terminology?
I think it is.
Oh,
You're thinking of haggling, which is
Yeah.
what you do for negotiating. Heckling you into buying things would be very funny to me. Hey, fat ass, you need fruit. Get over here and buy an apple, you piece of shit. That's so fucking funny to me.
in this, I was picturing this little town.
Your clothes look like shit. Come buy ours over at the Nike tent. You look poor. We got a discount for poor people like you. Extra small condoms for your small wiener. Come on over. I love this idea that they're just being heckled into buying shit. It's so fucking funny to me.
How did you picture the scene? I was thinking of Aladdin slash there was an old movie called Arthur. Also like that type of downtown
The
carriage.
aardvark.
No.
He had a sister named DW.
No.
And his parents were sort of absent most of the time, except for his mom,
I think it's the same era, though, when this came out. It was about
King Arthur.
probably King Arthur, but is King Arthur the one that pulls the sword out of the stone?
That's how he becomes king.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
There was a movie about that.
And then he forms the Knights of the Round Table
Yep.
to show that there is no head of the table. We're all equals. Do you remember the wizard's name?
Okay, it's no way that it's this one. When I typed in Arthur movie, it shows a 1981 comedy romance with a bunch of comedians. I can't.
Gene Hackman.
Yes.
And
definitely not that. What is it?
no, you're correct. Look at Arthur movie. Let's go with 90s. Oh, go early 2000s.
Oh, I think it's called King Arthur.
Yeah.
Oh, and Keira Knightley is in this one. It's definitely
So it
this
was like
movie.
04 or something, 03.
And seeing her in this movie made me feel so much better about me because we were built very similarly. And then I found out they CGI'd her tits larger, and then it made me feel insecure again. So I was like, God damn it.
I don't know what part of the internet you were on. What year was this?
2004.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't at that point of the internet where I even knew they could CGI boobies.
Well, it wasn't. I think it was Photoshop. So in the actual filming, so when you watch it,
She's
it's-
regular. So
she's regular. She's herself. I think they did some padding and shadowing, like contouring. But I was like, I can do that. I can contour my titties. That's going to be fine. I can, that'll work. But then the cover is definitely Photoshopped.
they just Pamela Anderson her.
No.
Just blew it up. I can't see that good enough from here.
Well,
I'm not wearing
she's
contacts.
half that size and they Photoshopped her larger. And then it made me insecure again. I'm like, God damn it. Even she can't get by it. Propaganda. But overall, it made me feel better that a
Less well endowed.
actress could be getting these large roles. Because in my head, that just doesn't happen.
I'll give you a large role.
Okay. But it was this movie. They're going like down the street at some point. And it's like a mix of that plus Aladdin.
It's a market.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
a
on board.
really long roundabout way to talk about tents.
You didn't bring up tents at all. You brought up tits.
Oh, they're in a town with many tents.
I agree. I know where we're going with this.
And then some dude grabs her and he tries looking at her eyes and talking about buy something from me, let me get something from you, take from her.
This would be heckling. No, I'm just teasing.
And then we have Rory who shows up and he knocks the man down.
Yeah, these knights are real happy to just hit people.
Really just Rory.
Is he also the one that killed the sprite?
No.
That's what I
you're
thought.
right.
I thought that was Hamill or whatever his name was.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Rory, I'm going to have looking like, is it the bad guy in King Arthur? Or is it the bad guy in,
Don't know. I never watched that movie.
what's the Men in Tights?
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights, bad guy king.
King Richard? That I did see. I do know that one.
Oh God, no.
You know, the mole moves around his face? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's King Richard.
No, not him. Who is it?
Are you thinking of the bad guy from A Knight's Tale?
Yes.
Okay, that would make more sense.
Yeah, that's who I'm going to
Let me
picture
see.
as Rory,
Yeah.
but with a better personality than this guy. I mean, obviously he's the bad guy in A Knight's Tale, but he's a handsome dude, and that's who I'm going to picture as my knight. I could go with Blondie, but Heath
From
Ledger.
A Knight's Tale or
Heath
from
Ledger,
Robin
no.
Hood Men in Tights? Because they're both handsome blonde men.
Who's the... I can't get over thinking it was the king from...
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, I don't know where you're going with this, but the mole that constantly moves around his face is so funny that I'm going to let you go with this.
No, I'm going to go with...
Princess
Rory.
Bride.
I like the story of Princess Bride.
Oh,
Love
but the
it.
blonde guy's not your guy? He's very handsome.
Heath Ledger?
No, from Princess Bride, not A Knight's Tale is Heath Ledger, and he's also very pretty.
Oh, yes, this man, blonde man in there. Carrie Elwes.
Yes,
Nope, not going with it. Still
Okay.
gonna go with the bad guy from A Knight's Tale.
fair enough.
That's who I imagined knocking this guy down. And then as a joke to her, he's like, what are we gonna cut off? His hands, or am I gonna kill him? And she's like, you wouldn't do that. He's like, of fucking course I wouldn't. You're dumb. And he's just kind of making fun of her and insulting her. God damn it, why was I into this? That's kind of rude.
We're not so different, you and I.
Well, I liked it, and I'm still gonna. But when I'm retelling it, I can see where it's a little problematic.
You know what? I'm just glad that you're enjoying it.
And then he asked, where's the other night? Where's the dude that you took to the grass and is supposed to be watching you?
She's like, I blew him real quick and he's sleeping.
And then whoever that night is, he shows up with the rest of the girls. And that's when they insult him, saying like, oh, it must have been pretty fucking quick for you to get separated like this.
Yeah, not his most shining moment.
So then everyone shows up, they tease how quick he was, and then Rory whispers in her ear that he hopes he was deferential. Right. You're deadpan facey. Give me that look.
I don't give a shit. That song's not for me. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, and then he goes off with the female knight.
What does that mean to you?
I looked it up.
Yeah, okay. And even so, I mean, what does it mean to you? Why is that exciting to you?
I think it was him whispering in her ear.
He could have said anything. Or is it the fact that he hoped that that man showed deference to her?
Yeah.
That is sexy.
Yeah.
I hope that he thought it was special, basically.
Because that's valuable to him, and he knows that dude is a fucking dirtbag, and it was almost him calling him out and her out on, like, I know that guy's a piece of shit.
Oh, I thought he was kind of calling her out on the fact of she did it like it was cheap.
No.
And therefore, because he's like, I hope he showed you deference during this moment.
Because you deserve it.
Is anything he said so far leading you to the point where that's what you think he was saying? Or do you think he was straight up calling her out for picking somebody who obviously wouldn't?
God damn it. I think you're right on that last teeny bit that you just said.
I think I'm right on the whole thing.
What? No.
I think it was straight up just calling her out like, oh yeah, well, I'm glad that you won that round. I'm sure he showed you the difference necessary.
Oh, God damn it. I saw it as...
He keeps telling her how she's not that fucking special. And they're led to believe that they're super special people. And then she picked the horniest, shittiest knight of them all to take. He knows that guy. I think it was 100% a slap to her face. It's very funny to me.
God damn it.
But the fact that you took it as sweet is so different than how I took it.
I think you're right. Damn it. Well, it doesn't matter. I still like him.
Yeah, no.
Because then he goes and he punches the dude in the face. Because then we see the guy later. He's got a bruise.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fair. I'm not saying that our main man, Rory, isn't great. I'm pointing out that it was clearly more of a, I'll whisper in her ear and that'll get her excited. I'm going to say something mildly insulting. So she's kind of horned up by it and then immediately like, wait, what the fuck?
God damn it, that is what happened.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of into it, but then also, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he leaves with the female knight. And for your perspective, maybe the female knight punched the guy in the face.
I think if somebody did, it was Maud. I don't think it was Rory.
It was Rory.
It wasn't.
But you
It wasn't Rory who hit him. Rory knew what was going on, and she's in charge of her own faculties. He is not there to be punching people in the face, because that dude didn't do anything wrong. She offered herself cheaply to the guy. The guy then said some shit where she was no longer willing to offer, and he then went, okie doke, no big deal, thanks, bye. There's a good chance that guy punched himself in the face for fucking that up.
No.
He's like, God damn it, again, this is the third time I've talked a woman out of fucking me. It's incredible. I have friends like this.
That'll talk themselves out of it?
Yeah, women are immediately interested in them, and then they open their goddamn mouth.
Isn't that men in general?
Potentially.
Well, you changed that up for me a little bit. I thought
so
it was
sorry.
a much cuter scene, but I think you're right.
No, you're right. It was very cute, and he probably gave her a little kiss on the ear on the way out.
Just a little nibble.
Just a little nibble on her earlobe as he just growled.
Ooh. After that whole scene, because he and Maud leave to go after that dude, and we don't see them again until later. And now the girls are dancing, and this is where I have like the bonfire witch.
Because they're all in their white robes
Yeah.
after they've taken off their coverings.
They've taken off some more layers that I didn't think were actually there, so I thought they were just full on nude dancing around the fire.
They said they were covering themselves up so they could sneak out of the whole cathedral area.
Right.
They were wearing, I don't know, traveler's robes, whatever those might
A
be.
little more coverage.
Yeah, I envisioned they looked like monks, and then they removed those and they're like, It's party time.
Yes.
They're getting white girl wasted, having
Exactly.
a great time. Then they're all joining hands and
No, it wasn't like that.
in a circle. Well, okay, what kind of music do you think they're really jamming to?
Well,
I think there's a lute involved.
yes, probably a lute. It's Tamlin.
He played a violin. Spoiler for that series.
We're not getting more into it, but those who have read it, it's Tamlin. Well, they're dancing, shedding off some layers. The king dances with her, and
He
they're
says,
talking.
"Will you dance with me?"
Yeah, he comes up and they're dancing. And then they start the night game, some type of nights game
Yeah, it's like an honor-bound double dare situation.
that started out of nowhere, other than I think that they're just drunk and wanted to play this game.
I think it's a way to loosen everybody up.
Okay.
Once somebody gets naked, it's strip poker. That's the idea of it.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fitting because it was just a game that started out of nowhere. If you lose, if you say no to the challenge, because the king challenges Rory. If Rory says no, he has to strip naked, run.
Because they're going to chase him.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do when they catch him, but...
Blow him. Real quick. It's like, I got your cock. And Rory's like, no, that's gay. And he's running away, but not real fast. The boy king's got soft lips.
Stop. And then if he accepts the challenge, but the king loses,
He has to blow the king.
the king has to run naked.
They're both.
They chase him.
That's the whole thing. No matter what, one of the two ends up running away naked, being chased down. But everybody's attempting to give him the old gluck gluck.
And then if Rory accepts, but Rory loses, the king said, you have to get a divination.
Is that what that
Or a
was?
divine something. Yeah, so
A divine blowjob.
he gets his omen reading, he essentially
Yes.
done.
Okay.
And Rory obviously finds it all to be bullshit. And he's like,
So what does it matter if he loses? The idea, I think, is that he also would never show back up.
I'm assuming he's very anti.
Establishment.
Yeah, he wouldn't even go in the building to watch his closest friend, the king, get his done.
Yeah, I look at it kind of like waxing. Like if a friend of mine is like, hey, I gotta go get my ass waxed. Do you want to go with me? I would say no. You can do this on your own. I don't believe that I need to be there for that. Your ass is going to be silky smooth whether I'm there or not. You got
Yeah,
this.
but everybody else showed up to the ass waxing.
That's fine. I would allow them to do so. I just don't feel like it would be necessary for me to observe it.
And now, if you lose, you have to get your ass waxed. And everyone's going to be there and watch it.
And that's fine if it's a bet. Then there's a reason. But
Look-
just voluntarily, I'm with Rory on this one.
And it sounds like with this game, you challenge them at something. They chose war, which is Rory's best. And he's supposed to stand still, keep his feet planted. I thought the king and a couple other knights were going to be the one that tried to fight him and knock him down or get him to lose his footing. It ended up being 3 diviners who did it to him.
Yeah, it seems like they really didn't care if Rory won or lost. The king's like already loosening his pants. He's ready. He's like, oh man, these balls are getting a little sweaty over here. Oh, are you guys going to knock me down? No. We'll take the 3 frailest women from over there. Start with the beautiful one. Oh, which one is that? Rory knows which one. And it was a different one.
Yeah, it was a different one. The first one, I think the girls chose her to go, gave the advice to punch him in the gut where he had the bruising.
Yeah.
Didn't work. He kept his feet steady. Number 2, the beautiful one, according to the king. And that's when Rory, his eyes flickered to him, the beautiful one, which
No,
is
to her.
to number 6.
Yes.
Exactly. Ended up
His
being...
eyes flicker to him. His
I
eyes
didn't
flicker
know
to
I
the
said
king.
that.
He's like, God damn it, that boy's got a pretty mouth.
I don't know what I had said. And it ended up being one of the other girls. She goes up, and I really thought this move was going to work. She smooches him, a deep, long kiss. And I think the only tactic she was missing is to taunt him by pulling back just a little bit to get him to keep leaning into it. Maybe he'd step forward.
I think if she'd have cupped the balls
Okay.
and she could have drug him forward as she stepped away, he would follow. You follow where your balls go.
That's true.
That's why they're on the front of our body. We're meant to walk forward.
I'll try this out later. See if I can get you to lose your footing.
Oh, I thought you were going to do this with some random knight you find.
I could.
You could. You could.
The options are endless.
Well, they're not. Not endless. The options are incredibly limited, but your time is not. You can do it.
And then we have number 6. It's her turn. And she's battling back and forth of, if I just let him win, I'd never have to see him again. And she decided she's going to win. And I think I interpreted this to mean she doesn't like to lose, rather than she actually wants to see him again.
I took this as she didn't want him to win.
Yeah.
Not so much that she doesn't want to
Yeah.
lose as she just really is like, he does not need this confidence boost. It's when you and I play games. You don't play to win, you play to try to beat me.
Yes. Yeah, because I'm getting everybody on my side. If it's group, it's everyone against Ryan. Because Ryan's ego cannot handle winning another round of Mario Kart against all of us. And it kills me every time because you're just like, I'm great again.
Well, because then it's the whole field against me and I still win. You're doing more to feed my ego. Sriracha, code names, Monopoly. Oh, that's a lie. Our son plays Monopoly in such a way. I never thought there was any kind of strategy to Monopoly.
He clearly has it figured out. His only goal is save up his money until he can buy the last 2 plots on Monopoly. I think the blue ones.
No, he spends all of his money throughout the entire beginning of the game.
Well, he always makes sure that he has enough for buying one of those 2 plots and building it up with the houses. So then he just bankrupts you when you finally do land on it. So you're playing through the game thinking you're doing great and kicking his ass because he spent his money on building up one of those blue plots. And then you're just destroyed.
But what happens is he is so fucking lucky when he rolls those dice. He never lands on any of your properties. When he's got no money, that dude finds all the free spaces to land on.
I don't know how
he is the luckiest human. But yeah, no, that's the one board game that I just don't think I win commonly in our house.
And I think you're right. I think it was a sense of, I don't want Rory to win because fuck you type of thing.
Yeah.
And her tactic was interesting. She ended up doing this squat, grabbing around his waist, lifting him up and dropping him. And he has his arms behind his back this whole time. He's not allowed to use that for his balance.
Are you aware what Hell in a Cell is?
No.
So I want you to go on your phone real quick. And I want you to type in Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell story.
Oh my God. What is this?
Read it out loud, please. Does it give the year? I believe it's 1996. Did you find it?
It looks like it has something to do with wrestling.
Yes.
I see Hell in a Cell 1997.
Yep. Okay. Story is the story there. It should be a Reddit thing. There's a copy pasta of this. Or maybe you Hell in a Cell copy pasta.
I think maybe this is where I need to be. The top Reddit post about it is Out of the Loop. What is the whole 1998 Undertaker meme? In the CFB subreddit, after Ohio State scored 0 points in their playoff game, it became common for someone to say, don't let this distract you from the fact that Ohio State lost 31-0 against Clemson in the college football playoffs. When responding to an unrelated comment or post, it was used to poke fun at Ohio State and to make sure that if it was brought up on every occasion possible. That was the first time I saw the setup. Don't let this distract you from the fact that blank. I'm sure it didn't originate from there, but I started noticing that phrasing a lot more in places like that after that. Somehow, the whole Undertaker one became mainstream. I have no clue where that started. I'm fairly confident it's new. So what's the Undertaker? 1998, The Undertaker threw mankind off Hell in a Cell and plummeted 16 feet through an announcer's table. Where did it come from?
Don't let this distract you. From 1998, The Undertaker threw who?
I don't even know. The announcer's table?
Yeah.
My God, I have been off Reddit for way too long.
No, this was a thing
8 years ago.
I was just going to say, you were in full Reddit mode when this happened.
Oh my God, now they're just copy and pasting the same answers.
Correct. That's all it is, though. And for whatever reason, when she picked him up, it reminded me of this. Don't let this distract you. In 1998, The Undertaker picks up whoever. Oh, it's so funny.
Well, it was quite the move and tactic.
So it's the same thing The Undertaker did.
Oh.
that's the point I was making.
So he falls on his back and his arms are pinned behind him and she's on top of him, this half-nude lady.
She's not half nude at this point.
Well, she's in a see-through outfit.
I don't think their regular go-to-town outfits are see-through. I think they become see-through because they're mostly sheer when they're wet.
Okay. And then I think he was actually pissed off that he lost.
Yeah, and I'm with him on this. I would also be upset. Like when I lose games, I'm still sad about it sometimes.
You think that because he doesn't want to have a divination done.
Correct.
He's going to be upset.
He sees this as pointless and stupid. All he's going to do is give his blood for nothing.
Well, then it kind of gets you thinking about what you're told about the omens. And even if you don't believe it, you're going to be thinking about it. You're going to be looking for where it is true or isn't true.
Do you think so? I think my personality would not.
You would just get it done and not think about it ever again?
Correct. I think it would just be a nothing burger.
I would be thinking about it
I know.
often.
Yeah, see, this is where it depends. If he's written to be pretty anxious, yeah, this is not good for him. If he's written to not be anxious, he's pretty much just going to look at this and go, oh no, there were grounds in my coffee. What does it mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I have a theory after reading that and that he's going to have a divination done. I don't know if I'm using that terminology correctly.
You are.
Okay, good. That he's going to get the moth, which is rare. That's my guess. He's going to get the sixth omen.
Yes.
And that only comes around with birth and death. I'm under the impression that it's probably going to be like the birth of a new relationship or something like that.
The death of her religion.
Oh, maybe.
Or he's destined to destroy the world.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, then fine.
Well, maybe destined to take down the establishment.
Perhaps. Maybe he's destined to murder 6.
Oh, no.
Oh.
That's 2 books anyways. Get
I
out
don't
of
know,
here.
fine. Yeah, I'm sure he will get the moth because that's what'll make him special.
The Knight and the Moth.
Uh-oh. Maybe she's the moth because she's drawn to him.
Ooh,
And
I
he's
like
all
it.
light. Ta-da. I think this could go so many different ways. I think he definitely gets the moth. I wonder why she's the one that's going to get to do his divination.
Yeah, are they going to do the straw drawing and she gets it?
Yeah, okay. That's probably it. Or are they just going to use a little flask of water? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That they stole?
why'd they steal it? What do you think the purpose of that was?
I don't know. At first, I thought it was kind of to discredit whatever the hell's going on there.
Maybe. In
But
order
maybe
to
not.
get you to keep paying, we'll tell you these fortunes essentially. And the only way to be in favor of the omens is to come back or do these things and pay money.
I also wonder if he didn't try to drink the juice to show him that it was nonsense already, and that's why he was so bruised up by his ribs as he was throwing up, and they were trying to like get him to get the rest of the water out of him. Like they thought he was drowning.
Oh, yeah, we don't have an answer on what those bruises came from.
No, we do not. Or maybe he lost the last night dare. He was running, booking it naked, and his cock bounced up and hit him in the rib.
Oh, my God.
Busted a few ribs.
This
And
is,
that's when the king tackled him and
no,
Got
this is a great note to end on.
Is
Just
it?
stopping you from continuing your stories.
I don't feel like we have enough stories where the king is after the same love interest as our female main character. And then we have a lady knight who's also longing after female main character. It's a love square, but they're not all in love. It's 2 parallel lines with an X in the middle.
Lots of complications.
It doesn't need to be. It could be very simple. The king's like, I order you to be my boy. And he's like, I'm his boy now. And the divination
so
lady.
dominatrix style.
With the king and the guy?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just a power dynamic. It's not that way sexually. Like, it's not whipping him and whatever. That.
No, wait, I was supposed to be stopping you from talking.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. There's so many more cool stories in this book. And then the female knight tenderly massages that lady because she's got a broken heart. She's like, oh, the king stole my man. And she's just giving her a little bit of a neck rub, and then she smells good. And that lady turns back, and boom, Maud locks lips with her. And they look over, and they just hear this grinding noise. And it's 2 gargoyles just getting after it. And they're like, oh, but they're kind of into it a little bit. And that gets them going. And it's their version of watching pornography together. And now they're just watching these gargoyles, and they're like, let's try it. Maud's like, armor on or off? She's like, leave the helmet on.
I love you.
I love you.
You're my bestie.
You're my bestie. Open your legs and close your books. It's over.
No.
Thank you guys for supporting us. It's been a good time. If you'd like more,
Follow us here, TikTok or Instagram. Fable, if you want to join our book club. Patreon, if you want episodes early.
drop it on Tuesdays if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Episodes are releasing on Tuesdays. If there's a two-parter, it's going to be on Thursdays.
We accept 5-star reviews and nothing less. If you leave something less, you're a motherfucker.
No!
Oh.
Honest reviews.
Not that honest. Only leave a review if you're willing to be a 5-star honest person. Should we come up with something mean to say to him on the way out? I kind of want to pick on him.
No, I
don't
won't say
want that,
love
dude.
you. Bye.
Oh, you can tell him that you love him.
Okay.
I won't.
Love you guys before Ryan bullies you out of here.
I'm fine with most of you. I love you, bye. Close your legs and open your books. Open your legs and close your books. I'm gonna read it. We gonna read books. Close your legs and open your book. I want to learn to read. Open your legs and close your book. I'm tired of reading.
No.
That should be the end of the podcast. All right, close the book, open your legs. It's time to quit reading. Podcast is over. Close your book, open your legs.
No.
As you were.
No.
You know how we all walk around just spread out.
No.
Put your pants on, Edith. It's time to read a book.